Hi, everyone. Everyone here that wants to be? Good. I've got two mics on here. Is it okay? Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Kind of echoing back on me.
I've got a third if you want to use three.
You hear me in multi-stereo. So thank you very much for the intro. I am the CEO and founder of a company called Xiatech. We are a solution partner of Couchbase. I'm going to share with you some customer success stories today, so I'm not really going to talk about us too much. There'll be a shameless plug at the end. You can hear all about us, but really this is about what we have done for customers. We were actually going to have a customer standing right here, but unfortunately they couldn't make it today. So there is a spare slot available. If anyone wants to join me as a new customer, you're very welcome. I've got the contracts here as well if you'd like to sign. First of all, thank you very much to Couchbase for having us and hosting us and from flying us over from the UK to be here. Very excited, and so far it's been really good. We had a partner event last night, heard a lot more about the product. We've been a partner of Couchbase since the beginning. In fact, we've used the product in previous versions even before it was Couchbase. So we've seen the company grow, and we've grown with the company as well. You may hear from my, I call it a lack of accent, that I'm not actually from this country. So if you don't understand me, then please raise your hand. I will try and clarify things. I'm going to have some time for questions at the end. And thirdly, this is probably the coldest room I've ever been in. I don't know about you guys, but you've got scarves on and everything. It's trying to make me feel at home, I think. That's probably what it is. Now, in my simple world, I have two types of people. I have business people and I have technology people, and I have no idea what you guys are, because this is the biz tech room. So previously, Constantine was reasonably technical. I'm not as technical, but can I get a view from you guys? So first of all, I'd like you, if you don't mind just standing up for me, make sure everyone's paying attention. Would you like just to stand up on where you are? Go on, you can do it. Yeah, don't be reserved like British people. That's good. All right. While you're all standing, can I ask anyone that is non-technical, doesn't really get technology too much, but understands enough, could you just sit down for me, please? Brilliant. And the rest of you, I presume, are kind of techies, understand technology to a reasonable extent. I'm going to refrain from you asking me any questions at all at the end, all right? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. No, I can talk tech a bit, but I'm going to hopefully talk mainly about the customer successes and how we've used the technology to really help. As I said, we are solution partners from the UK. We work all over the world. We've worked with Couchbase for a long time. I wonder if I can get this any bigger, because I can just about read what's on it. I'm going to tell you about who we are, really what our customer successes are, what we see as data challenges, so why we've created the solutions we've created and what those data challenges are in industries and companies such as yourselves, how we've solved them, really a technical overview of what we've done with Couchbase and how it's helped our customers and what those benefits are, and really where we're taking the product with Couchbase, so what we are doing with Couchbase and driving customer successes from it. 2 seconds on us. We were founded quite a while ago. I founded the company. I kept getting hired by the companies I was helping, so we kind of went up and down in our success. But the last 5 years, we've created an integration platform and a data analytics platform, all using Couchbase. And that's what we've used to help drive digital transformation at a lot of our clients. And I'm going to talk to you about that. We are specialists in B2B, B2C. We do a lot of work in retail, in betting and gaming, financial services, travel. So we're kind of industry agnostic. But from a technology perspective, Couchbase is really at the heart of what we do in terms of our overall solution. And we'll talk to you about that. The obligatory logo slide, I nicked this one from a previous solution provider. Don't know if it's true, but we do work with most of these guys. A lot of these guys you may not recognize, they're from the UK, but some of them are global customers. So I thought I'd start with our customer successes. So how have we been successful, or how have our customers been successful because of the technology we've used? First of all, can you hear me okay when I talk this way? Because I can't actually see the screen over here. But in fact, what I might do, if that's okay, is just change mode very quickly, because I can't actually read what actually is being said. Hold on. has made no difference to me, but you can still go back to the beginning. Right, so first of all, we've driven a huge improvement for our e-commerce customers. Probably our top performing e-commerce customer that we've helped has driven a 25% year-on-year improvement in their revenue due to the technology we've put in. There are some other factors behind it as well, but we're going to talk to you and show you how we've done that. We've also uncovered, because of the single view of data that we provide our customers, we've uncovered lots of use cases where inventory might be hidden in different stock locations, and we've provided that single view of inventory data, and we've allowed them to actually see data they didn't realize existed. And this particular example was a company that do B2B, they do wholesale, they do concessions, they do retail, they do online, and they all have different stock pots. So we help combine those stock pots into one inventory. What I mean by stock, yeah. So we combine that inventory information into one place, and they have pure visibility across their entire supply chain. And we, at numerous occasions during the year, have helped them uncover inventory they didn't realize they had available, and they can sell in the higher margin channels such as online. We are using all the technology I'm going to show you in a minute. We create various Black Friday dashboards for our clients. They can see at a glance what is happening on Black Friday. They can make real-time trading decisions on the back of what we've delivered. In addition, I think you probably heard this morning about Internet of Things. So we've developed a solution which allows our customers to take radio barcode, or the response of a radio barcode wand in a shop where they're reading the amount of inventory in a shop. We take the millions of those transactions every day, and we pass them back through to legacy systems. And we also, because of the technology, we've accelerated the implementation of new systems. And in a minute, I'm going to show you how we do that. The outcome is, obviously, we provide solutions to our customers that they can get better visibility in their data, we can integrate their solutions, but also there are additional benefits that come at the end, really around cross-sell and upsell and personalization, based on providing a single view of customer, for example. So you may notice on the agenda that you've got in front of you, we were going to talk about a single view of customer. We're actually going to talk about a single view of data. It's not just customer, this applies to any data, and I'm going to show you how we do it now. So just to talk to you from an industry perspective, can you hear me when I turn this way, by the way? Yeah, you can hear me at the back? Okay. So some stats that we put together, we found on various places. You can have a look at the source. But huge amounts of data being collated on a daily basis. 90% of the world's data has been created in the last 2 years. There's a great photo opportunity. Normally people take lots of pictures of this slide, but 90% of that data is actually unstructured, which really means that the ability to capture that data and hold that data is pretty significant to various organizations, particularly the ones we work with. If you took that data and put them onto Blu-ray discs, it's equivalent to about, this is every day, this amount of data has been created. It's equivalent to about 10 million Blu-ray discs. And if you pile them up on top of each other, that's 4 times the Eiffel Tower in terms of height. And the Eiffel Tower, by the way, for those who don't know, is in Paris, that really tall tower, the one you've copied and put in Las Vegas, that one. So if you think about that amount of data being collated and created every single day in the world, well, how does that apply to me, to you guys? What's your personal Eiffel Tower? So what do you see as your data challenges? Now, these are the things that we talk to customers every day about. I'm sure a lot of them will resonate with you guys. There are loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff on here, but could you just put your hand up if any of these resonate with you? If you see these on a daily basis within your organization? Yeah, pretty much most of you. So the solutions that we have put together using Couchbase for our customers really address this type of information challenge. So I put together a fictitious retailer. Now, these are most retailers or companies that we deal with on a daily basis, and I'm sure most of you will get this. So at the top, we have customer channels, whether that's e-commerce, whether it's stores, whether it's customer services, social channels, doesn't matter. Each one of these has a number of interactions with the customers. You heard Matt this morning talking about number of interactions versus transactions. In the solutions that we provide, it's really around capturing those interactions as well as the transactions, because we feel that's where the real benefit comes from the data. And if you think about the number of customer channels across an organization and the amount of transactions and interactions you capture, that is pretty significant. Your own Eiffel Towers will be pretty huge at the end of each day. Most of that data needs to be pushed down to your operational systems, and that creates a challenge. And you heard about UPS just now. So how do we do that? And what tends to be the issue that we find, the issues we find in various corporates? Well, firstly, new systems take ages to implement and are complex to integrate. So here comes a new system, and trying to integrate that into your new systems tends to be a bit of a challenge. I think most people have seen this within their own organizations. On top of that, you then want to share that data. So you might want to share data from an e-commerce platform to all your other channels on all your other systems. So you have something that looks like this. You probably also want to share that data with all your other customer channels as well. Traditionally, because of the information challenge and the sharing of integration, the integration challenge, sharing of data and business reporting can therefore be quite complex and costly as well. So we see this. So people try to, I think, what we call sticky plaster, like your Band-Aids and sellotape and string. That's kind of what we see in various architectural diagrams, right? You have lots and lots of diagrams floating everywhere. So if you think about the data challenges that I talked about before, and you talk about the integration challenges, you can understand how we're in business, right? We help solve things like this. So what does that mean? Well, it means that trying to solve this or implement a new system is going to be complex for you guys and for all the customers that we work with. So creating a real-time single version of the truth is very complex, and we've really built our business based on solving challenges like this for organizations. So take this. Now, let's take a real example. Say you want to share customer data. For example, all these systems will have customer information. A lot of people do this. They'll put in a new database of some description to try and create a single view of customer, right? Works very well. It can work very well. And you add a new system, you just have to create a new pipe into that single view of customer. But then comes along another requirement. You want to capture product data, and you want to hold that centrally as well. Well, you've got another data store of centralized information. And then comes along your requirement to have a single view of inventory. And so you have a third data store of inventory data separate to the other two. You then throw in the challenges of something like GDPR as well. Most people would have heard about this. This is the new data regulation in Europe. It really cuts across various things around consent and breach, right to access and right to be forgotten for customer data, and putting in privacy by design, so ensuring that the actual policies and procedures you put in place are in accordance with the directive. And then that tends to be the response, right? I mean, you try and overlay GDPR on top of what I've just shown you as well. You have another challenge. You have your regulatory challenge as well as your data challenge as well as your integration challenge. So why do traditional methods fail us? So when we talk to companies and they try and solve things like this, why does it actually fail? Why don't they work? Well, if you take a traditional data warehouse, for example, traditionally people will extract, or customers will extract data, transform it, and then load it into some sort of data warehouse. So if you take a reporting example like this, what you tend to find, or what we tend to find, is that data warehouse and the reporting is structured according to the requirements. There's a whole process of gathering requirements through the organization. You then structure the data warehouse in accordance with those requirements, and then you create your reports, which means everything else from the ETL down is really structured in a way to meet those requirements. So therefore, comes along system X, new system. I now have to create a whole set of new routines to extract that data, transform it, and load it into the data warehouse. I have to create a whole load of new views and aggregates, and then I then try to create a load of new reports. Which, if you keep on going, you keep on going. Remember that spider diagram I showed you earlier? You're kind of in a world of complexity. So, what we've tried to do. Why the traditional? So, this is just really summarizes everything I've just talked about. Does this resonate with you guys? Yep, good. Okay, so what's the answer? Well, what have we found to be the answer? Well, first of all, there is no magic bullet, so there's no one single solution. But what we've certainly done for our customers has really helped us, and has really helped them. I would say that the first step you do is non-technical. The first step has to be some sort of discovery. Anyone tell me what that picture is? What it's from? Minecraft. Very good. Very good. Really, the first stage for us is all about discovery. So having a look at the data, scoping and prioritizing the delivery, understand what the organization challenges are around data, creating a groundswell around it and establishing some sort of data governance and steering groups, and importantly, selecting an excellent technology partner, such as ourselves. And also look for opportunities. So when you're looking to try and get to a consolidated set of information, so you're trying to create a single view of data, or you're trying to crack those challenges I mentioned earlier, some of the opportunities we find in organizations is don't try and just do a data project, or don't just try and do an integration project. Try and go in on the back of a new e-commerce program or a new ERP implementation, because that's often where the budget is, and it's often where we find there is a groundswell around change. So what does good look like? Well, I don't think it comes as any surprise. And the new modern way of integrating systems is putting some sort of middleware or integration platform in the middle. We use something called event-based integration. You heard this morning the guys talking about eventing. Now, eventing is new in Couchbase. We are yet to deploy that within our solution. But the whole concept of eventing is really around capturing the interactions that create a transaction. Right, so we will capture every single part of an interaction that happens on any customer platform, capture that within Couchbase, and then we transform it and then pass it on to the recipient systems. And I'll talk to you about I'll show you how we do that. So first thing is capture these events. So in our world, any interaction is an event. And we've pulled together an event-based architecture which uses Couchbase. And we capture these events. So an event could be anything from customer registered, customer logs in, customer browses, search for something, updates customer information, creates an order, purchase, new product from a system down here, inventory is moved within the supply chain. Everything that happens to create a transaction, an interaction, is an event. And we capture these events. And the way we capture these is we've developed a microservices-based eventing system, which is written, the technology, for those who are interested, they're written in Golang. So we create these microservices in Golang. They're exposed as Lambda functions within Amazon Web Services. And we use Kinesis as well for any message streaming as well. And we've created what, in effect, is a very lightweight enterprise service bus. So we compete with the likes of like MuleSoft and Tibco and WebMethods, but we've taken away the overhead of having to have that sort of software. And we've created a microservices framework which takes all these events. We have a canonical data model, which I'm going to show you in a second. So we capture these events, pass them through the microservices integration framework, and along comes a new system, and it's much more simple to integrate that new system. So you don't have that big spider diagram we talked about earlier. Next step is, how does that help with our data? So once we've created that event messaging system, that event system, we then on the side put a single data view in, and that is Couchbase for us. We capture every single event that happens in the ecosystem. We pass it through our microservices integration framework, and this is the same that we put in for various customers. Have really accelerated time to market for new e-commerce system, new ERP system, new reporting system, and this is the same framework we've used for all of them. So Couchbase really sits right at the heart of that solution. And Couchbase is really our canonical data form. So we take the data out of the source system in the source systems format, transform it, hold it in the canonical form, and then we transform it and pass it on to the recipient system. One thing that we would always advise is do it incrementally. So don't try and capture everything from the entire organization in one go. Do it in increments. So put in your single data view, put in your integration bus, or in our case, it's our middleware, our microservices framework, and then start to add new systems. And the whole idea of that is, as you add those new systems, the single view of data will consume that data in the format that you need it, and then transform it and pass it on. So the system gets richer and richer as you add more and more source systems into it. On top of that, we then, this is our framework, but I'm sure you have different types of frameworks within your organization, different technologies, but we pass that data from Couchbase into a data lake. We currently use Google BigQuery because it's excellent at doing these types of queries, and we just heard about Couchbase's new analytics, so we are going to start looking at that as well. And then we put various reporting tools on top of that, whether that's Tableau, ClickView, Power BI. The idea is that we literally pass every single raw granular level of data from Couchbase into BigQuery, and then we do the reporting inside BigQuery because it's pretty good at doing that and processing large queries. Why is event an interaction type data important? Well, what you can start to do is build up these data stories. So these data stories will look something like this. So a customer logged in, searched the product, viewed a product, I can't actually read it, product added to basket, et cetera, et cetera. So you can actually trace a customer journey, inventory journey, everything that makes up a particular transaction. These are all events that we would capture, and those events really for us can only really be done in a repository like, can really be held, sorry, in a repository like Couchbase. The scalability that it offers for us is enormous. Yeah, it's just more of the same. For those interested in the technology view, it's in the deck. I don't need to go through it too much here. Needless to say that right at the heart, right in the middle is our what we call our single data view operational repository, and that's what we've used Couchbase for. Really to capture every single interaction in a company. We hold it in a canonical form, and it's available to do what you like with, whether that's for reporting, whether it's to pass through to another system. We hold that all inside Couchbase. Why Couchbase? Why do we select Couchbase? Well, there's a whole load of reasons here, but I'm going to pick on a few. For us, it's very important because it's the underlying repository for our integration platform. It really has lightning fast read-write capabilities, and that's one of the things we pick Couchbase on. Native JSON storage, it reduces the transformation overhead because the systems we're working with deal in formats like JSON, for example. We felt Couchbase was really very appropriate to use for our particular solution. And it's got various adapters to the technologies we use, for example, Golang and Spark. Very large community, very easy to configure. As Couchbase are adding more and more complexity to the platform, the tools that comes with it is actually, for us, amazingly easy to use. So the management interface, the UI that comes with it, for us, was really, really useful. Yeah, I mean, I could talk for a long time about that. What is now possible? Well, I think you saw our customer successes, so I'm not going to go over that again. But what other possibilities are now enabled? Well, because we have that single view of data, we have an event-based integration technology that we've implemented for our clients. Well, the world's your oyster, really. Cross-data set analysis, for example, customer segmentation, the ability to do segmentation on data and then pass that back into Couchbase for it to hold and then pass back to the customer channels, personalization, cross-sell, upsell opportunities, it's actually enormous. So we found that this really only scratching the surface at the moment with the technologies that we've implemented. In addition, other costs or other benefits really, increasing the speed to market for new revenue generating systems. So you're implementing a new e-commerce platform. Using this type of technology, we have decreased the time to market for implementing new e-commerce platforms, whether it's Hybris, Magento, Salesforce, doesn't matter. And the technologies that we're using here with Couchbase right at the heart has really enabled us to accelerate the implementation of these new systems. Our single data view platform really is the only shameless plug that we put in here. It's really there to help accelerate a number of things, whether you're looking at an integration platform, whether you're looking at a single view of data, whether you're looking at a reporting solution. It's all three in one. And really, we couldn't have done this without what we've got behind it in terms of the Couchbase repository. The single view of data for us is of paramount importance to what we're doing. Some people have their data scientists just looking at Couchbase, putting RStudio on top of it and doing some real heavy-duty data insight analytics, for example. I mentioned before, event-based integration, so it's kind of an integration platform as a service, real-time 360-degree view of data, and industry-ready reporting and dashboards. So we can probably implement this in about 3 months, about 12 weeks, single view of customer. Really, that really is one of the advantages of using something like Couchbase and our tech. I won't go through these. For various pre-built integrations, I want to get through this to this because I'm sure one or two of you might have some interesting questions which I won't be able to answer. So hopefully that was interesting. Any questions at all about what we've shown you? Yeah.
A question about the integration between I'm not sure if it was your service bus or the Couchbase and Google BigQuery.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
Sure. So between Couchbase to BigQuery, we use Spark, Databricks Spark, as a data processing. It's quite expensive, so we are looking at building, or we have built some Golang adapters between Couchbase and BigQuery. But yeah, that's been one of our complexities we've had to solve. So we went with Spark, but now we're moving to a cheaper model.
We've got time for one more question.
It's a business-related question. On one of your slides, you had the implementation is 10x cheaper, the SDV. Can you tell me a bit more about your benchmarking?
Sure, yeah. Because we have a 3-in-1 platform, so we have integration platform as a service. So the equivalent would be something like MuleSoft or TIBCO or Web Methods. Second thing we have is a single view of data using Couchbase. The equivalent would be another repository of data. And the third thing we have is ready-made, industry-ready reporting and dashboards. So if you take the 3-in-1 and you add that together, normally we see 3 separate projects for that. We implement this as one solution. So we've looked at the cost of ownership based on our experience of doing, say, a TIBCO, which costs huge amounts of money just for the license fee alone. We look at Couchbase and the costs of ownership for Couchbase, pretty cheap compared to other types of repositories. And then you look at the reporting tools and what's possible, something like Google BigQuery, which is free up to a particular level, then the overall total cost of ownership is cheap. Plus the implementation tends to be, we've found about half the time of a normal similar set of technologies. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, Jonathan. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Applause.